Hi guys, it's Sam. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am doing a very exciting video, and that is yet again another video about back to school. In this video, I'm going to be telling you guys all about organization tips and how to have a successful semester when in college or in high school. So with all that being said, if you guys want to see any more back to school content, I'll have everything linked down below. There's 10 more days left in my giveaway, so be sure to go enter that. And with all that being said, let's get into the video. Alright, so first things first, when we are going back to college, we are coming off of a very different type of schedule. What that means is we are coming off of summer, and in the summer, I don't know about you guys, but I know at least for myself, I stay up very late. I go out with my friends very late. However, when school comes around, I like to take my goals and my success very more important because there's other things that I need to focus on. So the most important thing I would say when you are trying to get back in a routine is your sleep schedule. Now, how is this going to allow you to have a good semester? Well, when you have the right amount of sleep, it allows your body to be more active and it allows your body to show up. The most important thing is showing up for yourself and knowing what you can and cannot handle. And when you want to avoid stress at all costs, especially in the beginning, which trust me, you do, it's really important to have a sleep schedule. Now, this could literally mean just having a set time where you go to sleep or having a set time that you at least go to sleep by. For me, on school nights, I like to say, okay, I'm not going to have a bedtime, but I will be sleeping by midnight. What this allows me to do is if I have an 8 a.m. class the next day, I wake up at 7, I have my 7 to almost 8 hours of sleep, and that allows me to actually have a good day and be properly rested. You need to be properly rested, and I know so many people overlook that, but please don't overlook it. I promise it will help you in the long run if you do allow yourself to sleep and go to sleep at a normal hour. Now, the next thing I wanted to talk about is waking up. So when you wake up, I really thought that this would be a really good idea to share, and I want to thank my friend Amanda for telling me about it because honestly, she told me about it and I've been doing it ever since. So it's called the 5-4-3-2-1 method. In the beginning of college, I had so much trouble waking up. I literally would just snooze my alarms. I would have my alarm at 6, my alarm at 6:10, my alarm at 6:15, so on and so on until 7:30, and still could not wake up on time. So what she told me was to set an alarm, and when the alarm goes off, literally count down from 5. When you count down from 5, you're allowing yourself to get to 1, and there's nowhere you can go after 0. So literally, if I'm laying down and my alarm goes off, now what I like to do is I go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. At 1, I get up. And it really is just something that allows myself to hold myself accountable, but it really does help me get up and be on time when I need to be on time. So that's the next thing I like to do. The third thing is very important. Some people will like it, some people will not like it at all. I got this tip from Lauren Doan, but it is to make a to-do list and plan out your days. Now, I'm not saying you literally have to make a to-do list every single day. I personally don't do that. However, I do plan out my days and make a to-do list when I know things could get very stressful because it allows me to time block. So this is like 2 and 3 tips in one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write out everything I need to get done, and I'm going to time block it by setting goals for myself of when I want to get it done. So let's say I wake up at 6 a.m. I'm going to give myself from 6 a.m. to 7:30 to kind of relax, eat my breakfast, get ready, get into that good mindset, and then I'm going to start my day. Now, I may have class from 8 to 9, so that's another time block. Then I'm going to give myself some rest time to do things that I want to do throughout my day that's just fun or for myself and stuff like that. And then I'm going to get into my schoolwork and everything like that while time blocking. Now, planning is kind of the same thing. However, it's a little different because you're writing it down, but you're scheduling it in advance. At least that's how I do it. So when I'm planning out my days and my weeks in college, I like to plan out by day and by week. And that is literally with everything. I like to color code what I have to do when I'm planning it out. So for my planner, I'll have a blue highlighter for things that I'm doing for my sorority, a green highlighter for things I'm doing for school, a yellow highlighter for tests, and an orange highlighter for things I want to do with my friends. Then I'll have a pink highlighter for things I want to do for myself. And I will literally use those highlighters and like color code it and show myself, okay, this is how long I have in a week to get to what I need to get done, and this is how I'm going to make it happen. When I do this, it really allows me to get into that right mindset, and it actually allows me to get everything done. So I thought it would be good to share it with you guys because literally that's what I do throughout the school year, and it helps so much and holds me accountable, and it really does help me have a successful semester. Next, I want to talk about saving your papers. Saving your papers is something very important, but you have to make sure you're saving the right amount of papers and what you actually need. What do I mean by this? In college, we are going to take a lot of notes, and a lot of them is going to be stuff that you don't actually need for your final exam. It's going to be stuff that may help you with life lessons. It's going to be stuff that may may help you for one test, but it might not be cumulative, or it may not be on your final exam. So what you have to do is you have to think, is this something that I'm going to need in my life long term, and is this something that is going to probably come up in my final exam? If it is, even if that section of what you're learning is over, take the papers, take your notes, and put it into a bigger binder. Save the binder, and at the end of the semester, you're going to have a final, and everything's going to be completely organized with everything you need to study for the final. Now, when I tell you guys, this has literally changed everything for me. It literally helped me so much, and things that I thought I would lose, I didn't lose because I put them in a binder and had everything in one spot, and I did really well on the final. When I compare my accounting grades from this year to last year, I did so well, literally just because I kept the things that I needed to keep and made sure they were organized and didn't lose anything that I knew I was going to need. Alright, so my next tip for you guys is something I say all the time, but it is honestly so important, and that is to do your best and forget the rest. What I mean by this is something that can literally change your mindset and can change everything. If you are stressed out about something, what I want you to do is I want you to think logically. If I do my best, should I really be upset? In my mind, the answer is no, because if you're putting your all into something, that's all you can ask yourself to do. Growing up, my family told me this all the time, and it's honestly so true. If you are going to put your all into one thing, like a test for example, and you still fail that test, as long as you tried, as long as you studied to your absolute max ability, and as long as you didn't waste your time and you tried as hard as you could, that's what matters, and that's what you should be hard on yourself about. Do not be hard on yourself about something that you cannot control. If you were in control and you messed up, that's a different story. However, if you did your best, forget it. Forget it and move on, because in reality, it's one test. It is one homework assignment. Now, that is not me saying make excuses in your head not to study. Don't do that. I'm saying if you did everything you could in your power to try to do good on something and you still failed, that is okay. Everyone does it. It's one test, and I promise it's not worth the stress. Next thing I want to talk about is honestly to use a planner. I know I touched on this a little when I mentioned plan. However, I want to emphasize again, using a planner will change the game, especially in high school and in college. Now, what do I mean by this? When I get a planner and when I get a syllabus in college, what I like to do is I literally write out week by week, month by month, everything that I need to do. College is a lot different than high school, and a lot of professors don't remind you when certain things are due. You kind of just have to remember. So the number one thing I will say is write it out when you get the syllabus. Take that time, color code your notes, and color code it by class, because it really will help you. And I know that may sound like, oh my gosh, that's so extra, but I promise it's not, and it will get you to where you need to be if you do it the right way, because then when you look at your planner, you're gonna know that the green notes are for your accounting class and the yellow notes are for your math class, and then you're gonna know exactly what you need to do, when you need to do it, when it's due, and how long you have to get it done, and exactly what it is. So that's the thing I wanted to say about planning. It's a lot easier when you do it this way, and it did help me out a lot. Next, I want to talk about highlighting and note-taking. I will say, in my personal opinion, it is really, really important to stick to one method with note-taking. What do I mean by this? If you are going to note-take on a notebook, then only note-take for that class in a notebook. Don't mix up your notes. Now, what I mean by this is that some people like to take notes on an iPad, some people like to take notes in their head, some people take notes on their laptop, some people actually write them out. What I recommend is sticking to one method so that your notes are organized and in one spot, rather than putting them all in different little methods of note-taking, because it will help you in the long run to have everything in one spot. Now, also with note-taking, I want to mention highlighting. In college, professors talk very, very fast, and there's going to be things that at least my professors say that I'm like, okay, this is going to be important. I'm going to need to remember this. What I do is I like to highlight it, but I also want to emphasize, do not over-highlight. When you over-highlight, there's a lot of things that can get really confusing, and I know that when I do it, I'm like, okay, why did I highlight this? Because in the moment, it sounded important, but I try to only highlight things that the teacher says over and over again. Because if they say it over and over again, it's most likely going to be on a test or a final or something I need to know in life. So that is the number one thing I would recommend with highlighting and note-taking. If it is something that is repeated over and over again, trust me, it's being repeated for a reason. I promise you that. The next thing I have is to never just shove papers that your professors give you into a notebook, or never throw them out. If they give you something, it is probably for a reason, and if you think that it could have any significance to your final or to something you might need for that semester, definitely take it and keep it flat in a folder and organized, because trust me, if you crinkle it, it's gonna add to your stress and it's not going to go well. I know in high school, I literally used to just take papers and shove them in my locker or shove them in my backpack, and then I was like, oh my gosh, this is my homework. that is due tomorrow that I now have to retype on my computer so it looks like I didn't crinkle it. So trust me, don't do that. Save yourself the time, and if you can, use a folder. If not, just put it in your room when you get back to your dorm or when you get back to your car. Put it in a backpack, something like that. Just keep it very neat and organized. Trust me, you'll thank me in the long run. Okay, next thing I want to talk about is time management and not cramming. This is one of the most important things that I think I can talk about in this video, and I know I said that a lot, but when I tell you this is so important, it's literally so important. When you are in college and when you are in high school, it is very easy to make excuses for yourself. It's very easy not to show up for class on time because you're more independent than you were in high school. In high school, most parents will say, hey, you gotta go to school, come on, let's go. In college, unless you still live at your house or you're still in that family aspect, many people who dorm have that responsibility of actually being accountable for themselves, holding themselves accountable, and having to actually show up for themselves and, you know, make that next move. Be that person that's like, you know what, I need to go to school today, rather than my parents saying it. Now, it's the same thing with cramming for tests and studying and homework and everything like that. It's very important to plan out your days. Plan out everything you need to do. Now, this comes into time management. If you are someone who's very outgoing, wants to go out a lot in college, wants to live out that college experience while still reaching success, I really recommend that you plan out your days and that you allow yourself to plan out certain things that will allow you to get to success while still reaching your goals with social life and everything like that. Literally time block, take 10 minutes a day, study each little class that you have, go over things that you learned in class, and it will help you studying a lot longer. Don't leave things for the last minute, because I promise that is not the way to do it, and this will leave you so stressed out. And if you are someone who doesn't like to be stressed out, which I think we could all agree it's not the best when you're stressed out, especially over college, it's important to plan out your days, give yourself time, and try not to do things last minute. The last thing I want to talk about is do what makes you happy. When it comes to organization and having a successful semester, the most important thing you need to remember is that you are doing this for you. You can't be doing it for anybody but yourself. You need to do this because you want to do it. For myself, I tell myself, you are an accounting major because you want to be something in the business world. You want to do something with accounting. Now, I also wanted to be a marketing major, so I tell myself marketing's amazing. All these jobs like nursing and everything like that are amazing. However, I think marketing and accounting is for me. Now, whatever that may be for you, use that as your motivation. If you're here in college and you want to get here by the end of college, you need to match those levels to get there. And I ask myself all the time, how am I going to do that? How am I going to get there? And the answer is by showing up. So my most important tip is do things that make you happy, show up for yourself, make sure you're in a major that you actually resonate with and that you like, and I promise it will be worth it. With all that being said, thank you guys again for watching. My last tip that I do want to mention really quick is if you ever have some free time and you're feeling stressed, I really recommend reading. Reading is something that really helped me in college, and whether it be books like sports books or self-love books, stuff like this. Like for example, I'm reading this one. It really helps me to de-stress and to kind of use this as something to, I want to say, like go into another mindset. Reading is one of my favorite things, and I really like books like this. I could do a whole video on that. If you guys want to see, let me know. I would definitely do that for you guys. But with all that being said, thank you guys again for watching. Sorry I took a week off of YouTube. I honestly was sick and not feeling well, so I needed to. Thank you guys for understanding. My giveaway ends in 10 days, and I might be doing another one, so stay tuned and definitely look out for that. With all that being said, thank you guys again for watching, and I'll see you in my next video sometime really soon. Bye guys.